All right, welcome everybody to the second episode of Y&T and Friends Vinyl Talk. Today I have a very, very special guest to talk a great Y&T album, and that's the one and only Sonny Hollywood Ponni. Sonny, I can't thank you enough for joining me, and welcome to the show here.
Well, no, I'm happy to be here. I don't know, stepping in after Tim, man. I'm watching this show, and you guys are going on about these variants. And I'm telling my wife, dude, you're not going to believe what I just saw. Like, these guys are next level. I am not there by any means.
Well, you may not be that, but I do know from listening to you for many years now that you are a big fan of this album here.
100%. Like, to me, Y&T has four perfect albums, and that's one of them,
Yeah.
right? So, big fan.
So we'll talk about this here in a minute, but so real quick, we'll get some plugs out of the way, I guess. So tell me a little bit about what's been going on with um, podcast Rock City and Growing Up Rock.
Yeah, we've been podcasting. Oh, well, I've been podcasting for a while. Podcast Rock City, I think it might be on its 12th year, maybe. I've been on it since 2017. So, we're having a good run. It's more about we're not really in competition with anybody. We don't have anybody to talk Kiss with. So it's like basically four kindred spirits talking about Kiss, right? And some of us enjoy different eras more than other eras, and we've got the male, female, the old, young kind of thing going on in the podcast. So it makes for an interesting conversation, that's for sure. Growing Up Rock, I've been there since ground zero. So we've been around since 2017. Steven and I haven't killed each other yet because we don't gotta see each
See
other
each
every day,
other.
which
Yeah.
is good. Yeah, we see each other about twice a year. That's more than enough. And it's going good there too. We used to do a lot of interviews when we first started because when you first start the podcast, you want to try to meet as many people as you can, especially in the music business. Because for somebody like me, I tried to be in a band. I try to manage bands. I try to book bands, but that's come and gone now. So for me to meet some of the folks that I love listening to, the podcast gives you away. So we used to do a bunch of interviews. And then over time, it's like, you know what? It's nice talking to Michael Sweet, but when he has something to talk about or he's got an album release, he's talking to 10 other podcasts, and we're all asking the same questions, right?
Yeah.
So we weren't quite getting what we needed out of that. So we make it more a conversation between either the two of us or have friends on and do different things, right? So everything from game shows to album reviews and all that. So it's been going well, just as you do this kind of stuff and somebody from Sweden contacts you and it's like, Jesus, we hit somebody in
Right.
Sweden? Like, wow, you know.
Yeah, it's
So
cool.
yeah, so it's cool and it's a little community. It's grown to a place, but it's still, you and I have tough jobs in retail. We already got jobs. We don't need another one. So it's absolute 100% hobby. There's
Yep,
no doubt about it.
absolutely. Well, I can tell you that over the last few years, that Growing Up Rock has been a Sunday morning ritual for me when I get up listening to those album series that you've done over the last few years have been awesome. So maybe a Y&T one year.
Yeah, we thought about it. It's one of those things where you're trying to appease a lot of people, and Y&T, no matter how much we talk about it, they're just not that big, right?
Which is a
And
shame.
yeah, it is a shame, but I will tell you, I saw him at Shank Hall in Milwaukee once. 200 people, packed tight, sold out. Everybody knew every word. Give
Yep.
me that over 30,000 people in some stupid arena, and I can't see Dave
And half
anywhere.
of
You know
them
what I
aren't
mean?
even paying attention.
Yeah, yeah. So I think I almost enjoy that. And when you talk to Dave, he almost enjoys that. He
Yeah.
doesn't want to be really that huge. I'm sure he would have appreciated the money, don't get me wrong, but when it comes down to really playing for people, I can't imagine how it is to look in the crowd and everybody knows every word. Like that's amazing.
Yep. No, it's those Y&T shows are special. That's for sure.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yep. All right. Well, let's start talking about Y&T's 1981 A&M album, Black Tiger, and I gotta tell you, this cover from Earthshaker to this,
Amazing.
that's quite the statement there.
Amazing. Like, just I love all of, just the detail, right? Because kinda looks like the tiger's ripping through a gate,
Yeah,
and then the wire that breaks off, right, to make it just a little bit more wild. I mean, just everything about it is so absolute cool.
yeah. Then
This
we
would
have
have been one
the
of those
start of
things.
the classic Y&T logo there.
Yeah, and, they that came and went a couple of times, right? But,
Yep,
unfortunately, if they were bigger, people would have bought the album because of the cover,
yep.
right? But, by the time the visual is really selling more than the album is and the brand is getting bigger, the problem is that's MTV time, and Y&T doesn't have a lot of history there,
No,
right? So,
no. We'll talk a little bit about that too. But so 1981, this came out. So when did you kind of discover Black Tiger?
yeah, so for me, Summertime Girls is my introduction, right? So I'm not even getting into music until '84. I'm a sophomore in high school by then. And I used to see, like, the concert shirts at high school. I grew up in the Bay Area, so you would see shirts, you see Metallica shirts, you see Motley Crue shirts, you see Y&T shirts, and I'm like, "Okay, whatever." Real Genius, the movie comes out. I'm like, "Oh,
There you go.
okay. That song's interesting." Saw it on MTV. I'm like, "Oh, that's the same song." I was still kinda meh, to be honest, because I was into Kiss Animalize, Rat Out of the Cellar, I was getting into Dokken, and they seemed a little harder, a little crunchier, a little more speed on the guitar, right? It's not so blues-based, and I wasn't really getting into blues-based stuff yet, except for probably Ace, I guess, until I saw him live. So the first time I saw him live was Halloween '86, and, we got to interview Dave on the podcast. It was our 100th episode,
Right. Yeah, I do
and,
remember that one.
he told us that that was the first night Jimmy DeGrasso played live, right? Well,
Yep.
that's the first night I saw him live, and I was living around the corner. They played literally, like, behind my house, so there was no way I wasn't going, and I see it live, and, now we're talking October '86. I've been in music a couple of years. I'm really getting into Kiss. I've discovered Ace, and, it kinda seemed like if you had the Gibson guitar players, they were one way, and if you had the Fender guitar players, they were a different way, and if you had the Ibanez guitar players, they were a different way, right? That was kinda I didn't know a lot about music, played a little bit, but not really a lot, but that's kinda how I was kinda fumbling around it. I go to see Y&T. I'm like, all right, tickets cheap. Castle Black opened. It was just a band in the area that went nowhere. Y&T comes on, and I'm like, okay, that dude's gonna sing and he's gonna play guitar. Okay, well, that's the same guitar that Ace plays.
Yep.
And then the first song starts. I'm like, Ace don't sound like that, right? And you immediately go, oh my god, like it's not the guitar that makes the man, right? I don't know the difference. I'm just a kid, right? And when he starts singing, I'm like, Ace don't sing like that either.
No.
And the place was so into it, and now that you look back, it's 1986. These guys have a following in the Bay Area, and I'm getting introduced to it, right? So, after that, dude, there was no stopping me buying Y&T stuff. I was all over it. So this is where I get Black Tiger, I get Mean Streak, I get Open Fire. I'm getting everything I can get my hands on. Problem is it's all super expensive because it's all Japanese. You can't get any by the time Contagious comes out,
Yeah.
A&M is basically not printing albums anymore because I don't know if they're pissed off the Geffens got them now. I don't know if they don't think that, Y&T matters. But then after
No.
Contagious does well, then all these greatest hits come out from A&M and you can get whatever you want, right? So, yeah, started buying like Japanese copies. My album is not a Japanese copy, but my CD is. And I had to do the same thing with Mean Streak and others. I have enjoyed it since that day. I've seen Y&T 57 times,
That's
right? I
awesome.
was looking at my notes the other day, 27 before 1991 and then 30 times after 98. And, they were gone pretty much from 91 to 98. Man,
Yeah.
I'm like between 22 and 28 at that time, and I'm making good money. Dude, if they're still playing, I see them over 100 times easy.
Yep.
So, I've that's how I got in, and it's just always been a part of my life. Just ended up meeting Manichetti about a year ago. Finally met the
Finally.
man and got a picture
There you
on the
go.
Monsters of Rock cruise,
There you
right?
go.
Spent Probably spent 5 minutes with him, don't have a clue what word I said. Like, I don't usually get starstruck, but that one did it to me. Tony La Russa did it to me once. Besides that, I don't usually get starstruck, but for some reason, those 2
Yeah.
guys definitely
The
did it.
the last two shows they played in Vegas at Banff
Yeah,
before COVID. Did a meet and greet when they did the little meet and greets there for a little while.
yeah,
So yeah, that was, and he's such a down to earth guy, and
yeah.
just willing to talk about anything. And we talked about Dio, and Go for the Throat, and how that didn't end up on their album, but he saved it for Ronnie, and then he didn't use it, and all that stuff. So, but it was, yeah, that was, he's a great guy.
Yeah, I was happy. It's all righty, man. Steve Wright, good friend of mine. We go to the cruises together. I don't have the balls to approach somebody. I just don't. If there's going to be a meet and greet, I'll pay for it. But if somebody's sitting at a bar, I just don't got
Yeah,
it. Righty does. So he's like, all right, let's go. We're going to go meet Manichetti. I'm like, okay. So followed him to the bar, and Dave
yeah,
was nothing but nice.
yeah. We all need a friend like that, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Luckily, I got one.
Yep. Well, I was fortunate enough to get into Y&T a little earlier than that. Having MTV from the get go, '83 when Mean Street came out and that video debuted. Man, when I heard that kick in, I was like, oh my gosh, what is this? I was like, why and who? I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, Y&T. Yeah, I went out that next weekend and bought Mean Streak on cassette, and it was all over from there. So yeah, I worked my way, back to Black Tiger. I didn't get Earthshaker for the longest time, probably because of the availability of that as well. But every new album that came out from Mean Streak on, I was there from the get go. So you know, huge fan since then, and you know, been fun collecting vinyl and all the other formats they come out there. So with that, what I'd like to do is kind of start out with the singles here from there. And as most of us know that follow Y&T, A&M didn't do a very good job of promoting the band. So there was one US single, and that was Forever. And that's that guy right
Ah,
there.
okay.
So Forever, and this is actually a promotional copy. So this is what they sent the radio station. So it's Forever on both sides. So there is a retail copy, but you can't find it.
Does it have Ballroom Boogie on the other side?
No, it's this. Oh, the retail copy.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes, yes.
yeah.
Um, but it's funny. It's like you can find the promotional copies that they sent to radio stations, but apparently nobody bought the 45s to sell on eBay. 40 years later, which is kind of weird. But what do you think about A&M selecting Forever as the single versus like Black Tiger?
Yeah, I think, I love Forever. Black Tiger probably is not radio friendly. Forever's probably closer. The issue is the build-up, the guitar solo, you're just not gonna get on top 40 radio. You can't. That's why Summertime Girls was the thing, because it was very poppy, right? And, the only Don't Wanna Lose was probably the closest you're gonna get if you're gonna get to radio. But, yeah, if I had a choice, if I wanted to sell it as a rock band, I'd probably start with Black Tiger. If I'm trying to sell it as a musician's band, I probably start with Forever. And if I'm trying to sell it as a pop band, I probably start with Don't Wanna Lose.
Well, the other Forever single was a Japanese release.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah. So there on the back, and then just the orange backed with Hurricane, actually, this one. So
Oh, wow. Okay.
yeah, they went back an album on that song there. But you were mentioning Don't Want to Lose, and in the UK, they did put out
Oh,
that as a single.
God, they
So
went on the cheap on the picture. They just did a close up of the album cover.
Yes, they did.
Too bad. That's too bad.
And then on the back, and if you can see that, that's a promotional label
Oh,
there,
yeah. Yeah.
stamp on
Yeah, they just
there.
go promo, yeah.
And then opens on the side there. And then you got the
Yeah, the
more like
A&M
what
logo.
the A&M albums look like. And then this one's actually backed with Squeeze
Okay.
from Earthshaker. And then so that's the promo copy, and then of course this is just the UK retail copy. So again, they just took the album cover, both
Yeah,
front and back, and
that's exactly what they did.
I made that on there. And then there's one other promotional out of the UK too that's got for promotion on the label there.
Okay.
Again, it's Don't Want to Lose and Squeeze on there. So there is a Don't Want to Lose signal from South South America, but I have yet to come across that one. So that one's eluded my collection so far. But so yeah, so getting into the retail copy. So again, this has that promotional stamp as well on the back there.
Yeah, I have a real one. Yeah. Yeah, mine doesn't have that. It's the original.
Yeah.
I know you guys were looking at like funky numbers and stuff. Mine's got a just, side 1, side 2 on the
What's
page.
the letter on the bottom, but next to the A&M
R,
logo? R.
R. Yeah.
Yeah. So that would be the RCA pressing plant in Terre Haute.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So this one actually has a A.
Oh, okay.
So they A&M had they use plants all over the country, right? For
Yeah.
obviously for regional distribution and that to go through. So I'll just run through a few of these here real quick. Same thing. This one's got a B
Okay.
on there. And then that one's the stock copy with the A. So if there's a promo copy, there's going to be a stock copy with the same pressing plant. And then this one is C
Oh, okay.
on there. So C, if I remember correctly, was Monarch pressing plant. That was somewhere in the south. Can't remember exactly offhand. And then I do have the R that you showed down
Yeah.
there. So that's the RCA one. And that's it for so those were the pressing plants that they used in the US for Black Tiger there. I know when you were on part of the album review crew in there, you selected this album to review with that, and you called it I think one of your desert island albums.
Yeah. So I've got probably about 45 desert island albums that like to me are perfect. 4 of them are Y&T albums. Right? So it just, part of it is legacy, part of it is it's part of your growing up rock years. Right?
Yeah,
Part of it is it just hit you right at the right time and has always hit you that way. The other thing about Y&T is it always felt underground. So it was like your band that like no matter how many people you showed it to, they just never got into it like you. So it always feels like this really tight community.
yeah. I can't tell you how many times I've say I'm going to go see a show, and oh yeah, who are you going to go see? I'm going to see Y&T, and they're like, who?
Yeah. Or you mean the Summertime Girls guys? I'm like, really? Dude, that's not the only song that it makes me so mad.
I know. It's so not even close to their best.
Yeah, yeah. And I was telling you, here's the CD. That's the
Yeah,
Japanese version, right? With the Japanese inserts,
yep,
right? So
absolutely.
those were, and I think what Tower was doing, because this is where I got most of these. in San Francisco and in just in the Bay Area in general is because A&M's not printing them anymore. Y&T still selling tickets,
Yeah.
right? So they can still sell some of this stuff. But the problem is, like, you got new fans that are paying $20 for a CD. But it was worth getting, I can tell you that.
Yep.
And
Absolutely.
now, even on Spotify, the stuff is on Spotify. Sometimes it's off.
It just
Sometimes it's
came
on.
back not too long
It
ago.
just came back, okay, because it was off for a while.
Yes, it was.
So I don't know what A&M is doing. I don't know who owns it. I don't know why they keep doing that.
Yeah, I don't know because I mean they left the compilation up there, that earthquake, which had
Yeah,
everything.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, who
That's
knows?
that's a that compilation is pretty good because it literally
Yes,
has everything,
yes, it does.
right? So if you don't, if you're not crazy and want to see, get stuff in the wild or whatever, this even has live on Friday rock show. So
Yes.
it's good stuff. There's no doubt about it.
Yep.
Um, yeah, I mean, growing up in the Bay, I just a little bit lucky on this stuff, right? I always compare it to Kicks on the East Coast
Okay.
because
Yeah.
I got a lot of friends in Pennsylvania and stuff, and all the Kicks this, Kicks this. I'm like, Kicks wasn't that big in California. Like we knew it, but it was like, okay, whatever, it's Kicks, right?
Yeah.
But if Y&T was coming to town, and let's say like the shows they played with Ace in 89, 90, I think.
Yeah.
Ace was headlining everywhere until they got to San Francisco or Oakland, and they're
Right.
playing the Kaiser Convention Center, and now Y&T's headlining. So it was kind of
Yeah.
an
I missed that show, and I still kick myself
great
for
show.
missing that one. Yeah. I mean, big Kiss fan too, so it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's like the perfect bill almost.
Now, where are you living in New Mexico? Well, of course you are when you discover.
Yeah. Yep.
So they got that far at least, right? I mean, they weren't
No, and
that big
I
in the
have,
Midwest.
I got family in California, so it's like, the last time I saw him was last year in Ventura.
Oh,
I have cousins out in Ventura, my sister's out in Ventura, so in fact, I'm going to see him again this November in Ventura. So it makes it easy, go see friends and family and see Y&T. So it's a
yeah.
win-win.
You're into the music that's on the Monsters of Rock cruise. Why aren't you on the Monsters of Rock cruise?
I'm not a big cruise guy. I'm
Oh,
not.
really?
Yeah, I yeah, I don't know. I just yeah, I think it would be fun, and I haven't found really, if I had somebody that wanted to go that was close by and
Yeah.
a friend of mine, I'd probably do it, but I don't want, to jump on there and pay for myself to go, one of those cabins or something like that. And it's like, so instead I go to a lot of shows, travel to Denver, LA, Las Vegas, Phoenix, hit those areas to see all the shows that I want to see.
All those areas within what, 4 or 5 hours to you?
Um, well, driving wise, no, I mean LA is going to be, about 10 hours. So
Oh, wow. Okay. But the
yeah, so
flight's an
that's
hour
a
and a
flight.
half. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, no, all the flights are an hour to an hour and a half either
Yeah.
way. So you know, that's what I do. I'm too old to be driving 10 hours anymore to go see a show. Back in the 80s, absolutely.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I got to do another cool thing. 2014, Brad Lang had a
Yeah.
party at his house,
Oh wow.
and I got to go to that because a friend of mine, they had like 2 or 3 bands play at the party, and a friend of mine was in one of the bands, and that was pretty cool. I thought maybe Dave would show up and they would do an offshoot, but 3 of the 4 guys were there, but they never came. Otherwise, that would have
Such
been pretty
luck, huh?
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm
Uh,
gonna show a couple of Canada ones here. So
all right.
that's the original Canadian release. Familiar A&M logo there. But Canada did re-release it back in '86, six or
Through A&M?
87. What's that?
Through A&M?
Yeah,
All
through
right.
A&M, and because the label
Oh,
changed.
yeah. Yeah, the label changed.
Yeah.
I
So
wonder why they would do that in Canada.
right? They didn't do it in the U.S. And
What the
I
hell?
showed on the Earthshaker episode where they did they did the same thing for Earthshaker, but just the U.S. So what they were doing, I don't know. I try to I try to figure that stuff out, and research and try to see why in the heck, well, what year that was and when that label changed and what was the point. I'm thinking it had to somewhere around like Summertime Girls, you know, that when Open Fire came out, and then before Down for the Count released, maybe they re-released, they repressed some. Why only Earthshaker? I don't know. Maybe that was the least available. Why the others? Because they did Black Tiger, Mean Streak, and then Rock We Trust in Canada. They repressed. So yeah,
Yeah, out of all the albums, the one that was hardest to find for me was In Rock We Trust. I could not find that
really.
damn album. It took me forever to get it, and I don't know why.
Well, actually, I had the vinyl back in '84, so I guess.
Yeah, and I had missed that, right? So I
Yeah,
couldn't, and I don't know if it didn't sell that well, so Tower just never got it. But there was even a Rasputin Records, and I couldn't get it used anywhere. Like I
really.
couldn't find it.
So this one is actually from Spain.
Oh, okay.
So see that or not.
Yeah,
So that's a pretty cool one. And then this one here is a UK press. Actually, I take that back. This one is from the land down under.
oh, wow.
That's an Australian press of it
Huh.
there. That's kind of cool. So all in all, there's 16 different variants worldwide that I know.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say definitively because somebody will come and go, oh yeah, well I got one from this country. You didn't show that one. Um, so this one is you actually a German pressing. It's got that LC
Yeah.
on there. So I didn't really talk about this, but so while I'm going on here, so this one was produced by Max Norman, who did right the first three Ozzy albums, but the first two before this one. What did you think about his production on there?
I thought he did a great job of getting kind of the gritty vocal that Dave sounded good with, right? Dave's vocal smoothed out over the years, right? And you have to, you get older, start singing a little bit differently. But I think he got the best out of Dave there. And man, him working with Randy and then coming working with Dave
Yeah,
really made Dave's guitar sound amazing, right? And I was glad, at the time, obviously, I didn't know who Max Norman was, but now they got a great opportunity. It's just A&M. It's just where bands go to die. It's like Chrysalis. They just neither one knew what the hell they were doing, and they have this great band that's part British, part new wave of British heavy metal, part right in the Rat vein. They can sell whatever you want them to sell, and what are you doing? Like, you don't know how to promote them. It's just unbelievable.
yeah, and it's interesting because it seems like the A&M people over in the UK got it, seem to got a heck of a lot more than they did here in the US. And to me, like those first two albums, Earthshaker and Black Tiger, really kind of I could see why people in Europe and England and there were fans of the band. It kind of
Yeah.
fit in with your Judas Priest, your Iron Maidens, and that whole British wave of heavy metal, bands, back in the early '80s there. So I could definitely see how that those fans over there really latched on the YNT.
And maybe it was also like if you think about all the bands that were big between 83 and let's say 87, a lot of those guys, the singer is not playing a guitar,
Yeah,
right? So maybe that's part of it. Maybe it's it's got to be, you got to have all four guys like Motley Crue, and these four guys ain't Motley Crue. They don't have those personalities.
No, no,
Even
not at
though
all.
Mick Mars' personality is probably a little iffy anyway, but
Yeah,
you got Joey that almost didn't want the fame, and Leonard wanted to be the hero, and you're the drummer. It's like, what are you doing?
yeah, yeah.
So
Because that tour they did with AC/DC over there seemed to be pretty
pretty big,
huge,
right? Yeah. So you would think that that takes them to the next level,
right?
but
I mean,
until they're breaking the U.S., it's not going to help. That's the
uh,
problem.
yeah, to the fact where Ozzy went over there and basically and literally begged Dave to join his band. Thank God he didn't.
Yeah, thank God he didn't. He'd just be an asterisk. That's
Right,
a
that's for
same thing
sure.
with Brad Gillis, right? It'd just be an asterisk.
Yep. So another German. This one's the repress with that black label. So this was late '80s again. So
Wow.
why they're repressing, don't know. Um, yeah, I won't nerd out too much, but this one's a German one, same thing, but the text on there is different than the other ones.
Oh, okay.
That's how deep we go.
Yeah, no kidding. You don't have the Columbia House copy? What's wrong with you?
Um, they didn't do one.
They didn't do one?
They didn't
Oh,
do
okay.
one for this one. Those are coming up. Trust me, those are coming up in future episodes. So, and then there's another German one that has the white label
Oh, yeah.
on there. And then now it gets really cool. These last two. So this is the Japanese press.
Yep.
So this one's actually a promo copy. Let me, so let's see. Actually, no, this is the stock copy. Sorry. But pretty similar layout there with the album. However, then of course it's got the lyric sheets, right? All Japanese always have
Yeah.
the
They're
inserts.
close. It's
Yeah,
90%.
close enough, right?
Yeah.
But this one came with this really cool. If I can dig it out of here. Um,
Oh,
Mylar
that's cool.
sticker.
Yeah, I've never
Yeah,
seen that.
yeah. These are only available for in a I don't know, probably a couple hundred or maybe 500 copies.
Wow.
Um, that they
God, too bad
sold.
it's not the real logo. God, the real
Right?
logo would be hot.
Yeah, that would have been really cool.
Yeah.
And then this is the last one. So again, it's Japanese. It's the same inserts and that, but if you notice on the label there, there's a box
Oh, yeah.
right there, and that in Japanese says "not for sale,"
Oh,
or
okay.
at least that's what Google Translator says.
Yeah.
um, so let me when I ask people about Y&T, they're fans of Y&T, so especially this album. Your thoughts on Barroom Boogie?
Love it. I know there's people that don't kind of like that cheesy stuff, but man, I like the acoustic version on acoustics. I like every live version I've heard, and live that that song pumps people up. I kind of enjoy that old blues kind of thing. Remember Great White had Wasted Rock Ranger? Like it's those type of songs. I kind of
Yeah.
kind of enjoy them. I don't mind at all.
I remember one of the it was early 2000s or one of the first times where I saw Y&T again after they started to got back together and were playing. And Brad was in the band at that time too, and they were kind of like, well, Dave was asking, well, what should we play? What do you want to
Yeah,
hear? Type of thing. And then people are yelling stuff out, right? And then all of a sudden, Mike starts the intro into
yeah.
Barroom Boogie, and he turns around and goes, "No, we're not playing that." I was like, Oh, okay. I guess he doesn't really like that one anymore. But every other show, I think just about every other show they play it. So either he caved in or he decided he liked it again.
I think it's stream of consciousness with those guys, right? Those guys, they probably have got a catalog of 35 songs that they can play anytime they want,
Yep.
and they've practiced them enough to where they can pull in and out of the set. They could probably take it to 45 if they practice a little bit, and they're going to do a shows in Europe. They do a different set or whatever. But there's a stream of consciousness thing, and you'll understand this because you're a fan. There are times where whether it's during Forever or whether it's during I'll Cry for You, or Dave will start a solo, or I Believe in You, and he'll look back and he'll just keep going, and something special will happen,
Yeah.
right? I just got goosebumps telling you. The last time I saw it was on the Monsters Rock cruise, and you can tell when he's feeling it, and I'll turn to somebody and goes, "This is what I'm talking about right here," right? And it's not happened every time I've seen him live, but there's something about, like, the guitars kinda speaking through him, and I think those are the kind of things that kinda cause, "We're not doing that song today, we're doing that song." It's just a feel. That's all it is.
I know exactly what you're talking about. When you said that, the thing that popped in my head was one of the last times I saw him in Colorado. I Believe in You. And
Yeah.
there's really like three solos in that song anyway, but there was like a fourth in this one, and it was just like, and I was just like, my eyes just got huge, and I looked at my buddy, I was like, what is like, it's incredible.
Yeah. So I think, and there's a couple of guitar players that I love that are that way, but Dave is definitely at the top of the list on something like that, and I appreciate that because, again, they're not Poison, so they don't have
No,
to play like these 10 songs that everybody wants to hear. He can do whatever the hell he wants to do, and people won't care.
no, no. All right, last song question. Winds of Change. Is it a ballad?
To me, it is. I think it's some people believe that ballads have to be about love or heartbreak or blah blah blah. I think anything that's got kind of that slower tempo is probably more of a power ballad to me, right? Most
Yeah.
most ballads that Y&T have are power ballads because there's always that build. But yeah, to me, it is absolute ballad.
I love that song. We made them play that at the sound check when we saw them, and they played it during the set, and that's just, yeah, that's, and they have a tendency to do that too, right? And their albums with the with a ballad or a power ballad type, did that with This Time on In Rock We Trust, and that.
I think it's their version of an epic song, right? That's their epic on the album kind of thing, which is fine with me. I First of all, I don't mind ballads, right? And second, they're not sappy, right?
No,
And
no,
um, a lot of the songs are fun, and some are serious. Okay, no big deal about it, but it's pretty cool that they can sell all that stuff without having it to be, about drugs or blah blah blah. Like they've
yeah,
not really ever been those guys.
no.
Now bless David, he didn't let Leonard sing again after that. Oof, don't ever let Leonard
Alcohol.
sing again. Yeah, Jesus Christ. I remember the first time I heard it, I'm like, "Who the hell is that?" And don't let that person sing again.
Yeah, and actually it took me a little bit to kind of get used to Phil's voice too. When after
Yeah.
listening to Dave, not that he's horrible or anything, but just just completely different.
Yeah, and I think Dave probably looked at it as it'd be nice to get a break,
Sure.
but,
Yeah.
it just happens to be that Dave just it fits the music better.
Yep.
And the guy was human, right? He told us several times. He's like, "Guys, I started listening to singers in the early '80s and going, geez, I gotta fix my chops. Like, there's some real singers out there. If I'm gonna sing, I gotta figure out a way." I think it was Winds of Change when he was telling the story about it. It was like a 17-hour session that he couldn't get it
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
and he had to keep
Yeah.
doing it
You're right.
over and over and over.
Yep.
Um, So those kind of stories, man, it just makes you love this band. But
Oh yeah.
I got to be honest with you, dude. I'm almost burned on trying to tell people how great Y&T is. I gave up because people just don't get it, and I don't know if it's you got to find it early in life. I don't understand what the problem is.
I don't know.
I
I
Spin
mean,
Mean Streak is a goddamn perfect album. What the hell's the
yeah.
problem with you? Like I don't understand.
Oh, I love it. Yep. You are spot on, man. Oh, forgot. I forgot to show this here.
Oh yeah, the wines. Yeah, I
Black
kind of
Tiger
kicking
there.
myself a little bit. I stopped drinking in not that I kicked myself or stopped drinking, but I stopped drinking in 2007. So on the cruises, you can do like an hour, right? And you can have lunch with them and taste the wines and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's an hour or two on the cruise. And I wanted to do it, but then I feel bad that like I'm not going to taste the wine. That's kind of, that's the whole point of it. And I
Yeah.
don't want to be the guy, right? So I'm like, okay, I just stay out of it, I guess, because I don't want to make anybody feel bad.
Yeah, I've got two bottles. I got Black Tiger and Contagious, and they're both still
Yeah.
sealed. So I've never tasted them.
Not tasted them either.
Those are just collectibles. Those are like a sealed album to me. So
Do you got Kiss rum in there somewhere too? Because
I
I
do
heard it
not.
tastes like shit.
I do not. I do have now this unfortunately did get opened, and
Oh yeah,
that was like 1996, I think,
yeah.
when that came out. But other than that, so all right, Sonny. Well, any final thoughts on Black Tiger?
I would say if you're watching this right now and you haven't heard Black Tiger ever, or you haven't heard it in a while, I'm just telling you, dude, just try it front to back. It is an amazing album, and you got to give it a shot. If you've never given it a shot and you love melodic hard rock, there's no reason not to give Black Tiger a shot.
Yeah. I don't know if this is just my age speaking or what, but it's one of those that needs to be listened to front to back. Like start it from the beginning all the way through, not cherry pick and then listen to this and then go skip to this. It's an experience.
Yeah.
Listen to it front to back.
Yeah, and I'm not much for that normally, right? But it's one of my desert island albums, so it's easier to be that way. I think, this hunting and pecking like on Spotify with a band that's got 10, 15, 18 albums. You know how easy it is to just get the wrong songs and be
I
totally
know.
turned off,
I know. That's
right?
why I still
So,
like playing vinyl.
yeah,
Pretty much
I
have
don't
no
play
choice.
vinyl. The problem is Spotify is just so
It
convenient.
is. It is. I use it.
So
I use
convenient.
it. I'm not gonna say I don't, but
Yeah.
when I'm here in my room, I'm gonna play. I want to, hear an album. I'm grabbing the vinyl. I'm throwing
Yeah.
it on, sitting down, and enjoying it.
Yeah. You like it that vinyl's making a comeback at 180 gram and all that, or you don't like that?
I mean, I do. I guess I don't because of the prices that how it jumped
Yeah.
up, and when you're collecting and trying to get some older stuff, now all of a sudden, you can years ago you could find it for $10. Now it's $100. Trying
Yeah.
to find some of this, vintage, 80s pressings and that. But no, I like it. There's some really good sounding, like I have the Van Halen MoFi series,
Okay.
which I love. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
I'm not huge for 45 RPM, because you got two songs and you got to flip, two songs, you got to flip.
Yeah.
But man, the sound is just it's pretty amazing. So
Yeah, for me, the vinyl, the sound, I probably don't understand it enough to where whether it was a cassette or vinyl or CD, it was what it was. I just love the songs, right? But there's nothing that touches vinyl art. So if the
oh
art
yes.
is
Yeah.
good, right? I started buying vinyl only for the art because I could put them in a 12 by 12 frame and put them up in my office. So like right now, Mean Streak's in my office right now, right?
Yeah.
So um those kind of things were important, but did I listen to vinyl over and over and over? No, I just listened to it on Spotify. It didn't make a difference to me.
Yeah. I got you.
But the re-releases allowed me to get all the Maiden albums. I didn't have to go into the wild to go find all the albums I didn't have. Since they re-released them all, I just bought them all new.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So all right, Sonny. Well, thanks again for jumping on and talking Y&T. It's I don't have enough people to talk Y&T, so it's a pleasure to do this. And for everybody out there that doesn't know, Growing Up Rock drops every Sunday, correct?
That is correct.
And then um, podcast Rock City is live, right?
Yeah, we're live basically every Sunday, right?
Every
We have
Sunday,
lives, so that's why there's four of us. We don't all four of us making it to a show happens probably once or twice a month,
right?
between what all of us have going on. But yeah, we do it live on Sunday, and it's that's a different experience because now you got folks that now you're basically at the bar and there's folks walking up and being involved in the conversation, which we hadn't done that for the longest time, but we started it probably about 4 or 5 years ago, and it's kind of been a hit there too.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern.
All right. Well, I'll definitely include links to both those here down below. So, once again, please like and subscribe, and hope you enjoyed this. And looking forward to talking some more Y&T and friends coming up. So, Sonny, again, thank you.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everybody.